The battle for the mind of North America will be fought in the video arena.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to this live today. I'm Max from the freedomcandle.net, and today we're going to talk about this sort of thing that happened in the United States with the Dodge thing. It's called the U.S. United States International Aid. I think Donald Trump, he actually fired a whole bunch of people from that department, and that is essentially the money laundering operation that happened under there. So I just want to talk about this situation because there was some things that were happening behind the scenes here in Canada. There were some things that happened in the United States as well, and one of the things that caught my attention is the amount of information that is going online about this specific situation, but more importantly, the amount of disinformation that is going on around the scenes. I've seen some people stating and claiming that the website was taken down. I've seen people saying that the federal government is taking down information. But I just want to take a look at what I found surprisingly on the internet, what I found from the original website from the federal government, as well as what I found quite surprising and quite shocking to see the number figure of how much money it's been wasted by the federal government. I know that some people in the United States watching this show as well, so I just want to take a look at it, and thanks for coming us tonight. And I want to show you also, I just want to tell you kind of what happened in the United States as well, because I was out of the life for a couple of weeks. I was doing other stuff. I was working on my business and was working for those who are aware. I run a business as well too, and that took me that took me a lot of time on my daily schedule as well too. So basically, what I'm doing is what I've seen on the internet. What I've seen is about this specific situation with the what's it called? It's called the Global Trade Canada, I believe it's called, right? Global Affairs Canada. That is the department of the Canadian government that deals with foreign aid, aka money laundering. So those people saying, "Hey, what is that? Canada has so much money. I was like, where's this money going? Why is it that taxes are so high? Because all that money is being wasted on trivial things like Ukraine and all that sort of thing." So we're gonna take a look at specifically what happens. So basically what I'm gonna talk about is how to get this information. This is public information, by the way. So I have to download a couple of files from the internet and compile into a massive Excel file that I have here on my third screen here. So this is the data that I've had amassed from the Canadian government itself. So that's one part. It's how to get this information, and also how to, there's a section of the government from the Canadian government website that is not quite discussed, and I'm going to take a look at this in a more in-depth matter. So first of all, the department in question, it's called Global Affairs Canada. So I have trouble with the names, by the way. I always say it's Dutch, but I would like to see a Dutch in Canada, to be honest with you, based on the information that I've seen here. So the information that I gather is from the Canadian government website. I'm going to show you a screen here. I'm just going to show you what I found. I'm just going to share screen over right here. So this is the information that I found here. It's from the Government of Canada website. I was going to show you, and so I'm going to demonstrate here. So this information came from the Government of Canada. So international.gc.ca. And this is a second web page that you have to go directly on the website to go to this page. So when you go on the government website, you have to go into international.gc.ca. That's the website. Obviously, you pick in English. Although the CSV files that I found are both in English and French to some degree. We want to talk about what it is, okay? Oh, some people coming here. Hello. Hey, buddy, Alberta, my home. Hello, sir. How you doing? Thanks for having me. Thanks for being with us tonight. That's fantastic. So I want to talk about this particular situation here. So go to international.gc.ca. I'm just going to post this thing on the banner too. I'll create a banner. At banner. So this is the website, international.gc.ca, and obviously in English. And in there, you're going to see this information here. So what I've been is something called International Funding International Initiatives Project Browser. So this project browser, we're going to look into this, but this is the website that was supposedly taken down, that was claimed to have been taken down by the government. It's just that information in there is still available. It's just painfully slow. So I'm going to look into that as well too. And that correlates to the CSV file that I have on my end. So that's good. Another document that is worth mentioning is something called wait a second. Oh, the website had changed. I just realized that the website had changed. There were a couple of links that were here yesterday that were no longer there. Interesting. But anyways, I'll send a link on the chat as well too for those people who want to see this information. And hey, Bunny, how's it going? So basically, this information here is coming from a website. It's the International Transparency. I think if I search for transparency, I will be able to see something. Hold on, horses, perhaps. Transparency. And the all usual suspects of Chinese infiltrators. You have the infiltrator here, Project Browser. So this is a website that was supposedly taken down, but it's still available. I'm going to go to the website as well too. But I can tell you the website has changed from yesterday. I can definitely tell you that. Anyways, so basically, I want to talk about this information here. So one of the first things that you had to double check on this website is that there are two data sets. One is the actual CSV files. For those people who are not aware of, a CSV file is basically like an Excel file. If you look on Notepad or something, it's separated by commas and semicolons. That allows me to open an Excel. If you're familiar with Excel, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? So it allows you to go on Excel and look at the file. And then on Excel, I merge all the data from all the way from 2016. Hold on a second. From 2016 to 2022. Okay. And so that's one set of data that I have here. Okay. Each individual expense that is on that CSV file is that compiled into a project name that you can search later on. So both informations can correlate and they cannot match to what you see one side on the other, right? So Before going to the CSV file of things and to the Excel file of things, I want to show you that this is something that is available. Okay, it was publications. Oh, anyways, I'll figure it out. So this is the what they call the Dave Data dashboard. So when you go under the website, you have access to the dashboard, right? So you have access to the dashboard. This dashboard actually has a very, should I say, very condensed data set of what's actually in there, right? I'm just gonna post another thing here. So all the data that you see here kind of complements what you, yeah, I saved all the links here. So basically in here, I have global affairs communications. Canada's is international assistance data. What you have here is essentially all the CSV files, the Excel files, if you want, let's put it that way. And then you have basically a history of how, of the year, you have a yearly history of the files in question. One thing that surprised me a lot is that if I look at from years, if I look at the CSV file from 2016 and prior, the files are very small. They are around 5 megabytes in size. When you pass the 2016, when you pass year 2016, that is where you're gonna see the files grow up in size significantly. So basically, it cannot coincide with the election of Justin Trudeau. For the moment Justin Trudeau stole the election in 2016, that is, or should I say, selected, what they call. That is where the that's where you see a lot of transactions going on. I'm gonna show you this thing here on this side. So I'm gonna jump on my computer real quick. I'm gonna show you the raw data that I have, because this is just an Excel file that I have, but I'm gonna show you the Excel file here. So I'm gonna show you, stop screen. I'm gonna show you precisely what I talk about here. Share screen and use File Explorer. Yes. So this is the data that I have here. So if you see essentially from 2011, the sites are like 10 megabytes, 10 megabytes, 9 megabytes, 7, 5 megabytes. And from 2016 and beyond, we're going to see 21, 33, 45 megabytes, 43 megabytes, 54 megabytes. And this is the year 2022, 2023. I know this is significantly smaller. The reason why it's a smaller, like it's a small file, is because they have not compiled the data yet into a single file. That's what it means. So in other words, they haven't compiled, they haven't finished this data set here. But you can see that from the moment you have Justin Trudeau being elected in this year, in 2016, that is when you're going to see a large increase of transactions, right? And I've seen the transactions going from anywhere from foreign aid to bullshit and relates to gender identity and all that sort of crap. So it goes from a lot of transactions like the climate change, gender inequality, parties that have been paid off, a multitude of expenses that don't make sense. Okay, and we're gonna go through this as well too. So this is what I have rolled down to. So in my CSV file here, the file I'm looking at right now is just this file here. This is a file that I personally made. This is the file I'm gonna take a look at, and this is the file that has all those years from 2014 and 2023 into one file, into an Excel file, because it's easier to see. And also CSV files are kind of weird in a sense that they're text files, so you can't search or do advanced operations through that process, right? So that's why it's important That's why I converted those files into a CSV into an Excel file. But that's more like an Excel feature, if you know what I mean. There's always been an Excel. There's always been like a magic ceiling on how much data you can process. So when the files get too large, eventually Excel just dies. So in order to do that, I have to install the 64 version of Excel, because I only have the 32 version here. And basically, what I have to do is to install the 64 version in order to accommodate those large data sets. Okay, so if you want to look at variable yourself, make sure that I have a very decent computer. Otherwise, you'll not be able to show those files. At least if you want to do like an actual search within the Excel file. If you do use Excel, make sure to use the binary version of Excel. When you save the file, make sure to use the binary version of Excel. The file size will significantly be smaller, and normally because it's binary file, it behaves kind of like a MySQL database in a sense. Okay, so I'm gonna stop talk technical, and I'm gonna go on the website right now. So just bear with me for a second here. But yeah, I was quite shocked to see how much data has been wasted on this side of things, right? On this sort of things. If you talk about Dodge, who's happening in the United States, you can see what's actually here in Canada. It's like 10 times worse because of how much money is being wasted for a number of years. Like it's just over 10 years. That can definitely tell you it's over 10 years. Okay. So I'm just gonna share my screen here, and I'm gonna share my web page. There you go. So this is data this is public information, by the way, from the Canadian government. I'm not making things up. Before going to the CSV file, I'm going to jump on what they call the dev data dashboard. And this is a very condensed version of the expenses related to expenses in general, not just foreign aid. In here, we see all the departments like measures here. You're going to see something like official departments. You're going to see environment, climate, boiling, export and development Canada, global affairs Canada. That is the money. That is, in fact, global affairs Canada is the branch of the government that deals with foreign aid. And there's a lot of transactions in the last 3 years. There was a lot of transactions going on through global affairs Canada. You've got immigration, refugees. So when they bring illegals to Canada, or people claiming refugee status, it goes under that category: immigration and refugee status. Finance Canada, provinces and territories and municipalities. So all the money that goes through, let's say, the 15 mini city stuff, like when Trudeau wants to pay the city of Edmonton money to build infrastructure, it goes under that fund. Okay. Other departments are CMP, Department of National Defense, and that was it. Okay. So that is for department. One other thing I wanted to show case as well. You can basically filter also by country, because in the case of that's funny. The first thing you see is Africa. Funny. The first thing you're gonna see is that all the money that you see here, so all those data sets here, this is where all the money went outside. So Europe here, and I can tell you this right now, spoiler alert, when you see Europe here is basically Ukraine. By the way, I look at the data sets yesterday. I spent 3 hours on my computer trying to look at the data sets from Excel and that sort of thing. Most of the data here that you see Europe is mostly Ukraine. I'm going to show you that in a second. Africa, another data set. This is $4 billion. That is from 2020 through 2023. And also one thing mentioned is that this data is incomplete. The 2022-2023 period is in fact incomplete. If I look at another period, you're going to see a lot more data moving forward, right? And that is precisely why the site is crashing that much, is because they're compiling that data and shuffling to the website. It's not because of the Trudeau government taking the information down, although that would not surprise me. It's just that they're pushing the information. The data sets are very huge, by the way. And thank God I have and thank God I have a massive computer here. My computer, it's a beast. My computer at my office is it's a very powerful machine. So basically, you see $4 billion in Africa, Americas. That includes also South America as well, Middle East. In Asia, that includes I don't know which country goes, but I would not surprise something like China or something like that effect. And global, that equals $2.4 billion. So we're talking about $2,469 million here. Okay. Where is this money going? Global Welfare Canada. That is, in fact, another organization, international assistance by department and branch. Global Welfare Canada, $6 billion here. That is, in fact, the foreign aid side of things. So if you're conservative, okay, if you're a pure polyverse guy, whatever, what you need to cut is foreign aid. Cut foreign aid as much as you can. This thing needs to stop. Full stop. Okay. Finance Canada, I don't know what it is specifically. Immigration, refugees, and citizenship Canada, provinces, territories, and municipalities, another thing to do. We're just going down a little bit. So this is 2023. This is where all the money is going, guys. Health and sexual and health rights. Almost 2 billion here. Humanitarian assistance, 1.205 million. That is basically Ukraine. Energy, that's all the woke wind and turbine side of things, not oil and gas for sure, because they're full independent, those guys, thank God. Governments, that is basically anything that has to do with paying staff, paying people, that's all. Governments, governance, and also some infrastructure buildings in Ottawa. I'm not sure. We're going to talk into this. Administrative costs of donors. Don't know what the hell it is. But look at this. Health and sexual and health rights. Gender equality. Gender equality. Almost 40%. It's all gender equality. Child and youth issues. Climate change. Adaptation. What a bunch of crap. Environment sustainability, another 14%. So this is where all the tax money is going. It's going almost exclusively for gender equality. That would include all the 2LGBTQ bullshit. That would include all the drag queen shows, and they do drag queen shows overseas, by the way, in case you wonder. That's another question. Climate change adaptation. That is essentially CBC telling me that I should not drive a pickup truck, that I should drive a electric car that's gonna die every 100 miles at -40 in Alberta. Is obviously gonna die, right? And with everything that engenders, with all privacy concerns and everything in between. These are all the people saying you should not drive a pickup truck with you should not ever drive a diesel pickup truck with a clutch engine. Standard. Because, biodiversity, desertification, I don't know what exactly this. Oh, climate change mitigation. Another bullshit slush fund. So this is probably a slush fund that has to do with the carbon tax that the Labour government loves so much, right? 14%. Policymakers of subvented funds which contribute to policymakers in a significant or principal capacity. Significant and principal. So basically what it means is that, from my understanding, is that this is the amount of policies that have been applied for gender equality, but significant amount of money. So they're using a lot of if you're on the government, you're essentially using all the energy towards gender equality. That's essentially what it means, right? So, and we haven't gone to the data sets just yet, okay? But this is essentially public information. They call transparency, right? They're essentially saying, at the federal level, this is how much we're going to screw you over, and you just have to bend over and take it. It's not logical what they're doing. And we haven't gone to the data sets just yet because we're going to see the numbers real quick from the Excel files, and it's quite impressive. So basically, you can say that if you're a politician, you can say, hey, those guys are essentially using 40% of their energy writing stuff about gender equality. Okay? That is spent from, that's only for 2022, 2023, which is quite impressive, right? Let's take a look at another year, but because this period of 2022 or 23, that's incomplete, right? So I'm gonna take a look at a previous. So this is 2021, 2022. So the whole scandemic stuff is all in there, like the max, the vaccines, the all that stuff all in there, right? 2022, 2023, that I think we might be able to see some Ukraine stuff in there. I believe so. Let's take a look at this. So 2021, 2022, V tables, 8.4 billion, right? Most of the money is going to Africa. Interesting. What do they do in Africa? In the previous, okay, gotcha. I understand because 2022, 2023, that's the year of the Ukraine war over there, the proxy war, right? So that's why you see a lot of money going to Europe. That's essentially Ukraine, right? Africa, I don't know what they're doing in Africa, to be honest, but must be all the Bill Gates stuff. I don't know. Haven't looked at the numbers yet. Still, Global Affairs Canada burning $6 billion here, right? Still, Finance Canada, another $1.1 billion. Okay. This is another column that kind of surprised me to me is the multilateral Canadian and foreign. Okay. So for my understanding is that the multilateral money basically means like it's I think it's multilateral. I don't know. Let's see if there's some information about it, but there's something about where the money came from. I had to double check my notes here, but still, health and sexual and reproductive health rights like abortion, that sort of thing, they're all in there, right? It's all in there. Gender equality, same thing, 63% here. So last year, so in the period from 2022 2023, we're talking about 40%. This is 60%. Amazing how much money they burn. It's like extra sauce in there. Environment and sustainability, 25% in there. Biodiversity, but they still, you see how much money they spend on bullshit, right? And just for the sake of, just for the lows, like, can I go like 2020, like 2012 in here? No, I can't. I just want to show the Harper, the Stephen Harper area, but they only see the Trudeau ones, which is kind of insane. But that data is actually showing up on the CSV files, by the way. So it's not a bad thing in a sense, right? So if I search for multiple periods, so we're talking about from the moment Trudeau took office, we're talking about $52 billion. And you can see like a steep increase of 163% from 2017 and right now. So it's going to an upward trend, and it spiked in 2021. So that is where where the pandemic hit. That's the Ukraine war. And we're going to see in Ukraine about the Ukraine stuff. I found out that they're paying such amount of money for gender diversity in Ukraine where people just don't give a F about it, right? Most of the money goes to Africa, Asia, Europe, America, Middle East, or China. So I would like to check is if somebody from the United States can actually have some sort of recollection of the data that is developed from the US side of things and trying to compare to what we see here in Canada. Because for what I see from this data set is money is going to Africa, They all go to Global Affairs Canada, which is essentially foreign aid and refugee status. That's what I see from a data standpoint, right? And they all go to almost all the data, almost all the effort goes to gender equality, which is nuts. Oh, other aid expenditures. Oh, that's cute. They must include the Haiti, the should I say the earthquake, the earthquake in Haiti. That was like in 2018-ish. That's probably why this expense is so high. But regardless, it's $8 billion, right? So if you sum that up, you actually have 52 billion here, at least 52 billion. Another thing in particular is that $52 billion, that is the money that has been spent. On the Excel sheet, you're going to see there's an extra column, which is allocated money. That means money that was been put in the budget. So the way it works is that the government is saying, okay, we're going to allocate $2,000, but you only use $1,600. So there's an imbalance of $400 that you have to pay, put it back, whatever it is. But basically what you see here is just the money that's been spent, not allocated. And when you do your budgets every year, every fiscal year, you essentially you're going to use the allocated money and not the used money, which is even backwards because you're essentially allocated more money than what they used to, right? So that's another trick of the literacy. That's how, in fact, they used to inflate the numbers to some degree, right? So you can look that up, international transparency. I'm going to send the information on my website, on Twitter, after the chat as well, too. So let's see if we have some comments here. Nope, not yet. There we go. That's fine. No worries. I like to see those stuff because normally what happens with the kind of situation is that you go into a situation when you see all the data going on and just don't know how much stuff is being wasted, how much money is being wasted here, right? And this is for the federal government, by the way. I don't have the data from the provincial governments, but this is, and in this website, you're going to see money going from the federal government to, you're going to see money from the federal government going from the federal government to the provinces as well. You're going to see Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, all those things. You're going to see all that information anyways, right? So that's very interesting. Okay, so now let's going to take a look at the Excel sheets now. This is the fun stuff. So this is the actual funds. And for that, I'm going to share my screen because I want to show you the actual PDF files. Just give me a second here. Share screen. Oh, if you work for StreamYard, for the love of God, allow me to have multiple span windows together. This is just getting ridiculous, okay? Okay, that's screen number 1, okay. Screen number 3, there we go. All right, so this is the actual information here, okay? Yeah, so this is the actual data. So this is the website here. I'm going to show you the Excel sheets here, okay? So this is the Excel sheets here, okay? I don't know if you guys see it properly. There you go. So in here, we have the data sheets from 2021, 2020, and all those things, right? So this is the most current set of data that we have here. So as I mentioned, this data is incomplete, okay? But we're just going to go through this, okay? This is a large file, by the way. So in there, you see fiscal year 2023, agency code 3. I don't know what it is, but I was told this is about which branch of government is. And because we're in Canada, they kept them on the name in French and in English. I don't know why, but I'm just going to skip it because who knows. The JEC branch. So GAC branch is Global Affairs Canada. So this is Foreign Aid 101. This is exactly where it's going. GAC branch, GAC division. So the way the money is being arranged is that you have, let's say, money that is being managed by, let's say, um, Global Affairs Canada, and they dispatch the money to whoever needs. Like, could be in Africa, could be in Ukraine, all those things, and it goes to a whole bunch of shell companies on the other end, who have nothing to do with what they're doing. They just money the laundry. They just launder the money that way. You're gonna talk a lot about it is. Okay. So in here, gonna see the GAC section, report title, project title, and this is the project number, numero du the project. So this is the project number. The website that was supposedly taken down in the last couple of days, I was supposedly, because it wasn't taken down at all. It was, they're just pushing new data and it was just slow, right? So this project number, if you go on the website, that allows you to look at the project itself, what it does, in what it does, and that will allow you to look at the information, and you're gonna see more details. This is like a condensed version, if you will, right? So this is for the type of project, type of aid. You're going to see something like administrative cost, not include, basket funds, contribution to multi-donor. So this is like, if you're let's say, if you are, let's say, World Vision Canada, you're going to see stuff in those checks here. Refugees, asylum seekers in donor countries, all in there. Speaking of woke stuff, because this government is so freaking progressive, right? I want to show you something really cool. That is the, hold on a second. Oh, type of class, NGOs, international NGOs. So that is outside Canada, right? If you're in Canada, you're an NGO. So if your name is, if you're dealing with an organization that deals with the woke bullshit, it's all in there, right? College, federal associations, crown corporations here. Look at this. Associations, there must be the unions here. Federal crown corporations. So if I filter this, you're going to see a lot of stuff like associations, consulting, and there is a lot of consulting services. A lot of consulting services, by the way. It's fairly bad. Others here specialize uncoded. United Nations, those people everywhere, those rats, right? United Nations all in there. Volunteer sending agency. I don't know what data. Oops. I think I have some issues here. Oh, sorry for that. I'm just going to share another. Just a second. I think I have some issues here. I'm going to share presentation. I'm going to share just the window here. Excel. There we go. That's better. So this is the Excel file. So this is the Excel file. Crown corporations, federal. I've just came across that. And this is, look at this. GAC Gender Equality Limited. And look at what you have. Non-integrated specific blanks. So basically all those organizations, when they submit a project, they have to have a quota based on how diverse you're essentially giving money to an organization. Let's say the World Bank. It's in the list, by the way. The World Bank is in the list. If you're giving money to the World Bank, you have to explain. The World Bank has to explain how diverse the organization really is. So it's straight up ESG, right? The is straight up ESG. So that's why we have to have like 30% of black people, 10% of Chinese, whatever, all in there, right? And you can filter this out. You have the amount of the percentage of how much you have to have here. So if you want to have, well, you have to have one very oppressed individual in that list, right? Same thing with environmental sustainability. You have a quota in there, environmental sustainability projects. So you have to have a quota for that. So basically what it means is that if your name is World Bank, you have to abide to certain, to a fixed criteria, like how much money you're supposed to have, how much money you're like, hold on a second. You have to have, let's say, how diverse your organization should be before the government will get money to you. That's what it means, right? Trade development, climate change, another one. Look at this, climate change. I'm telling you, everything has to do with climate change, gender hysteria, and all those things. They're all in the Excel sheet. Amazing. They don't hide themselves, those people, right? Biodiversity, climate change, child issues. I don't know what the hell is in there. Climate change adaptation, knowledge for development. Don't know what it is. Sector name. And this is another beauty. When I saw this Excel sheet, I was like, oh my God, this is so outrageous. If you look at the drop-down list, this is something that if you're familiar with Excel, this is something you can do very effectively. If you go down the list, you're gonna see all the let's say all the administrative links like agriculture, admin cost, advanced technical and managerial training, and all this stuff. This is like every expense in the government has a, should I say, like a expense class. Like when you, like with any accounting software you must use, like if you go into a restaurant, or should I say if you go into, I don't know, if you go into to the restaurant or taking gas, that has an expenditure class. That's what we're talking about here, right? So which is quite interesting to see all those things, right? And basically what's kind of peculiar to all of this is that this information is basically public domain. The information that we see here is basically public domain, but nobody actually paid attention to this because we were told that everything was holding secret. It's only after Elon Musk started to dig with Dodge that the information was, this information was it's not even linked to the internet, just public information. Like this is basically transparency. The federal government is basically saying this is how much money we're going to take from you, right? This is how much money we're going to take from you. That's what it means. This is the amount, how much data how much money we're going to take from you, and you have nothing to say about it. But they tell you this is how much data, this is how much money would take out of your pocket, right? So when people saying that Justin Trudeau basically duplicated the is because of stuff like that, right? The amount of money going out of the country is insane. It's appalling even. I'm shocked to see all those things. For real, I'm shocked. So let's go to the Excel sheet real quick. So this is the, we're going to do some research on the website here, on the Excel sheet here, okay? So in order to look at the information, what you can do, before going to the Excel sheet, I'm going to show you something really cool. Because the money figure is on the very last the very last sections here. So you're going to see international assistance, how much money was used. But there's another one, which is how much money they spent on this thing. So you have international assistance. So this is how much money this was spent, and rollovers. And there's another column that has to do with allocation and money allocation. Let's see. I think it was AC, the column AC, I believe. Aha, there we go. This is fucking amazing. Look at this. Total budget allocated. So this is how much money is budgeted through this. I'm gonna zoom in here. So this is the column here, GAC total budget. So whatever you see something like, so this is how much money has been allocated. It's in the budget, right? And they only use like a fraction of that, right? GAC on title, right? So this money that you see here is in fact in the budget, in the federal budget. That's essentially what it means. It's in the federal budget, right? Quite shocking to see all of this. I'm surprisingly shocked. Okay. So total budget. So in Excel, if you're familiar with Excel, you can take the money, you can basically do a search, and you can make a table and you can sort that out, right? You can do largest to smallest. So it will show up the largest amount. So let's take a look at this. So this is 2. If I'm going to look at this, what is this guy here? That is a non-profit. And you're going to see that, oh, look at this. The World Bank is in there. I told you guys the World Bank was in there, right? Global funds to fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. That's Bill Gates over there, right? Let's take, so that is what's been allocated, but that's not what I wanted to show you. I want to show you the other column, that how much money has been spent, right? How much money has been spent. Okay, here, international assistance, international. Okay, I'm just gonna, oh, not all items showing, that's good, because there are so many, right? So this guy here, number 2. So this is how much money has been spent. We're talking about almost $1.5 billion. Amazing. And that is, let me check, Finance Canada, Minister des Finances. Okay, so that's the financial section. Or the finances, project type, interventions, right? Type of project. Oh, Ukraine, look at this. IMF administration account loan. Look at this, 1.5 billion to Ukraine over there, right? 1.4 billion to fucking Ukraine. Refugee cost. Recognize refugees. And to be honest, I sorted the most expensive list first. So you talk about that H5. We're talking about federal. We're talking about here refugee in donor countries, and you're going to see uncoded Ukraine. So basically this means any country but Ukraine. That's the name of the project. Now I was just going to have something real cool. I'm going to exclude all the countries and go into Ukraine, because that's where the money is going, right? Going to Ukraine these days, Slava Ukraine, as they called. Look at this. So what you mentioned is that in 2021, 2020, 2022, it's all going to Europe. Well, that's exactly what we're talking about. It's all going to Ukraine, right? All those people here, like humanitarian assistance, This sub-action areas column is very surprising because in there I can subscribe, I can filter gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls and such a thing. I can search that. Oops, sorry. Gender equality and empowerment of whatever. Okay. You're going to see. It's like, what exactly has to do Ukraine with empowerment and gender diversity, right? It's all gosh, it's all bad in a sense. It's all telling, oh, we're going to Ukraine, you're going to Ukraine, send money to Ukraine. So this is saying like, yeah, you can just hide the money as non-profit under gender studies, whatever the hell it is, right? And it's going to look at this organizational. Uh, oh, and you see all the organizations like United Nations Consulting Service, international NGOs, associations, NGOs, United Nations. Basically, all the money that went to Ukraine went to United Nations. That's what it means, and international NGOs, right? So if I can basically filter this out if I wanted to, I can only select cooperatives or even United Nations has its own class. Amazing, right? So this is all the money that went to the United Nations on the guise of Ukraine, and I can summarize this money. And we're talking about here some selected cells. I don't know if you see it here, but we're talking about. Uh, hold on, just calculating. 1.1 billion. $1.1 billion that's been allocated to Ukraine. That is for 2022, 2023. Keep in mind that the proxy war started in 2021, 2022. So if I made the same exercise here, so that is AR. Okay, gotcha, AR. So if I filter AR here and small largest to, oh, look at this, $200 1 billion here, 1 billion, almost 2 billion here. What the hell? Amazing. They're transparent, guys. Those people in the government are transparent. They basically say this is how we're going to screw you over, and you guys will have to bend over and take it, right? Amazing. So let's do the same exercise with Ukraine. So if I exclude, if I go, oh, that's UNICEF. What the hell is UNICEF doing there, right? Global Affairs Canada. I just trying to remember when I was able to filter all of this. Just 1 second. This is a large file, okay? It's extremely large. Oh, okay. Sector name. That's another one. Gender. Oh, there's no gender bullshit. That's good. Oh, there it is. Data and evidence for gender equality. Come on, guys. Okay, and we're gonna filter this to Ukraine. Oh, recipient name. Oh, Ukraine. There you go, Ukraine. Okay, so we have Europe. International assistance. We're talking about 5,000, 500, $558,000. That's a pretty good house, by the way. And there's a section here, like allocated something. Oh, this is a real beauty. So we're talking. So there's a column called international aid, right? But they use, so this is the money that was used for the project. But this is how much money has been allocated. So when people are starving on the street, when we have soldiers dying in the street because they can't eat, they're actually allocated. They're currently allocating 20 million, 27, 475, 26,000 $411.00 times 2, because this is a different column. So basically, we're talking almost $50 million here of allocated money that is in the budget, right? And they only used, how much they've been using? Like significantly less than that. They've used like $559,000 out of the $27 million times 2, 56 million, right? So you wonder, like, what the hell's going on here? Like, where's this money going? That's where it's going. So let's get going. So let's take a look at this. I'm gonna reset the filters here. Hold on, we're just gonna, let's reset the filters here. And sector name, we're gonna go under health in general, population policies, responses, and all that shit, right? So let's suppose that we go here and trying to filter. Can I filter here? Oh, I can't? Oh. Okay, gotcha. Excel, international assistance. So if I sort it by the largest amount, boop. Oh, the largest amount, largest to smallest. Is it? Oh, I was just going to exclude the blank ones. There's a way of removing the blanks here. So that one is in the negative, so we don't care. That's fine. But I want to show you the largest to smallest. I don't know. Oh, okay. Now we're talking. Now we're talking, guys. 270 million here. $270 million for $433 million and $1,000 and 603 cents 50 cents. So you should ask yourself, what is this thing going? Let's take a look. Non-coded. Oh, that's a non-coded one. Government, Canadian government, donor government. What the hell is this? Refugee cost. Project number. Let's take a look at the project number. Should I? Let's go to the project numbers. And this is going to be a good opportunity to subscribe if you're not subscribed, right? That'd be cool. To the project numbers. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and I'm going to show you something really cool about this website. And this is this website that was supposedly taken down, but it wasn't, because just the site just crashed because everybody was going there, right? I run web service for a living. I run websites. So I know what it is. I'm going to share a screen. I'm going to press share a screen. I'm going to share the there you go. So this is another beauty here. So this is the project browser. So the way it works is that each individual should I say, expense has a project code. Okay. So I'm going to type OGD 292-9963. Okay. So, oh, top countries, Ukraine. What the top sectors, pandemic control. There's no, oh, top partners. IBRD Trust, World Bank. So all those people on the Rothschilds, they all go in there. UNICEF, get out of here. That's Bill Gates here. That's a Rothschild. That's amazing. So let's go and take a Ukraine. As I mentioned, this is public information, right? So you can see sector category, you can apply. But that's not what I'm going to do. I'm just going to type this project name here. So we're going to see, what is this? No project identified. Oh, interesting. Or just that should be able to see something. Oh, don't see anything. That's probably what people were saying is, we can't find new projects. So that's probably why they're probably doing some clean. I don't know. But that doesn't impede me. That doesn't prevent me from looking at things. If you look at, for example, at what's actually here, what's funny is that you can go in the projects, more filters, and you can search the start and the end date and minimum contribution. So this is how much money is in there. The maximum is $785 million. That's the max you can possibly check over. But we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna type $10 million and over. So and it will show anything from 10 million and above. Uh, okay, I was shot. Okay, and give me all the results from 2023, 2021. Let's try to say when this pandemic started, right? Apply search. What the heck? Let's say 1 million. It was working before. I can tell you that. No project identified. About project browser. I was able to get some data before the live. I can tell you that. I don't know why it's not doing that. Let's say Canada, and let's have some fun here. So give me all the projects about gender inequality and all that nonsense. Okay. Sector operational terminating. So give me all the projects. Product classification. So give me all the projects for. Oh, and they have companies here. You can look that up if you wanted to. Juicy. Gender, climate change, adaptation, mitigation, gender equality. What? No, no way. This can't be happening, right? No project identified. This is very interesting. I swear I was able to get some information from there prior to the live, and now it's not showing up. What the heck's going on here? I'm disappointed. Now we're talking. Search results. Academics capacity building sustainable. That is budget 3.5. That is 2.5 million. 24 million here. Aga, the hell it is. Crossroads Christian Communications Inc. Access to water sanitations in Yaman and Amular district. So what those companies are doing is that they're saying, "Hey guys, we need some Canadian money," and they just go to the Canadian embassy and say, "Hey, need some money." Association Québécoise des Organismes de Coopération Internationale. Don't know what it is. Education and education services, but that's not what I wanted to do. Initially, I wanted to get all the information from a category, gender equality. Okay, gender equality is there. Oh, okay. So okay, now it's showing some results. Sorry for that. The site's kind of weird. Sometimes it shows results, sometimes it doesn't. So probably is what's happening right now. Should I go to climate change adaptation just for the lulz here, right? And give me all the results from, should I say, give me all the results from 2021, because why not, right? And today. Oh, building capacity for North Korea, sanctions orientation, Latin America and Southeast Asia, close U.S. Civilian Research and Development Foundation. What exactly are we giving money to the United States? Like U.S. Civilian Research and Development Foundation. All right. But this is not the funny stuff. We're going to take a look at something. Lesbian. That's where we're going to have some fun. If that shows something. This is juicy. Oh, look at this. Empowering LGBTQ persons and organizations towards equality. 5,000 people. Okay. World Trade Organization Health System strain, $25 million. Why exactly are you begging me for $25 million? Capacity building institutional actors involved in fight against human trafficking. Operational. So this is ongoing. Take a look at this. As I mentioned, this website is so incredibly slow. Sometimes you get results, sometimes you don't. You can look at this as you wanted to. International project here. I'm just gonna look at I'm gonna post the website here, on the banners here. Have some fun by yourself. There's another website. That's the project analyzer. And in regards to the project analyzer, if I look at my CSV file, share screen. I'm gonna show you my CSV file right here. Now it's loading on the other side. Hilarious. If you look at here, you're gonna look at something called project ID, and you're gonna see the actual URL right here, project browser. So this column here, which is essentially column number, that's column number AC. Why is that you say money to China? So can you explain that to me, please? Please and thank you. Why is that you say money to China? Got no clue. What is saying money to China? Oh, look at this. World Bank, all the usual suspects. Green Climate Fund, Energy Access Relief, the World Bank, Green Climate Fund. And what surprised me is that they removed the string just past details here, right? So if you look at the details here, you're gonna see they removed the string here after details. Green Climate Change. It's almost they don't want us to look at. Government of United Kingdom, Government of Tanzania. What the hell? UNICEF, ILO, Government of China, United Nations, Green Climate Fund. That is so funny. It's almost like they actually removed the climate fund. Take a look at this. This XML file is so unique. You can dive in this for hours. I don't want to spend hours on this. You can look at yourself. You got the information anyways. But if I look at the let's take a look at this is money to University of Regina. Is the University of Alberta, University of U of A. Let's see how they were up to at the U of A, right? University of Alberta, that's here. South Asia, OGM Asia. I don't know why. Let's take a look at this on a web page now. So this is public information, guys. I'm not making shit up. This is actual thing this is something that actually happened, right? Share screen and hold on a second, just have some issues here. I'm just going to share the screen here. Share screen and use this window here. I was going to share the screen, number 3. There you go. So you're going to see something like project profile, World Health Organization, and system strength. Another thing, 25 million. That's the one from the World Health Organization I want to see, right? This is another one. This is from University of Alberta, country region for Asia regional. So I don't know what they're doing with this, but you're going to see bilateral transactions. If I look at the fiscal year 2022, this is how much money they received. All this information is in there. 8 grain discrete debt organization bilateral consortiums in our country. Okay. I've seen University of Alberta somewhere here, but this is international education. So if I look at international education, if I go should be given something. No project is identified. Oh, that's cute. Let's take a look at Jack. Oh, now it's loading. Oh, I'm telling you, this site is so weird. Oh, international education. Now it loads up. United Nations Development Program. So United Nations Development Program has to do with UNDRIP, has to do with the subversion of money into our municipalities, all that nonsense. So if I look at, for example, in partner, and I look at all the things that's happening with UNDRIP, UNDP, I believe that's called. And these are all public companies, by the way, right? So this is Telephonics Corporation, Telesat, Terra Sans Frontiers, Corporation of the town of Whitby, the Corporation of City of Brampton. Let's take a, do we have City of Edmonton somehow? Oh, yes. Edmonton Metropolitan Region. Let's take a look to see how I can find with those things. Let's see how I can find with those is. What you gonna find for the City of Edmonton? No project identified. Interesting. Some of the information is there, some is not. So this is what I'm trying to show you guys is how to navigate to the website. And I'm not going to spend too much time into what you're going to find on the website, but it's amazing the account of nonsense that you'll see. Just this information alone, the data dashboard that gives you a good understanding of how money is being wasted. Okay. So if you take all the columns of international expenses, you're going to get 52 billion. That is not what's been allocated. What's been allocated is significantly more than that, like 25 times more than that, right? And it's an upgoing trend, right? So the question is now, what's going to happen now? Because we have people in Ottawa who are essentially telling us, hey, we need your money if we want to stay in Canada, but we're going to feed that bureaucracy that is so large and inefficient versus having to deal with a American government who at least going to give the First and Second Amendment, right? And we don't have to get legalization money to Quebec and all those places. So the question now boils down to what's going to be the next step, right? Based on how much money they waste, we really need something like a Dutch here in Canada. That's for sure. And the fact that this is public information is beyond me. Like they're basically saying, this is how much you're gonna screw you over, and you just have to bend over and take it, which is repulsive at best. So if you want to take a look at this information, I'm gonna put this on Twitter and on social media accounts if you want to take a look at this. But this is what I have for you guys: is the amount of money that goes out of the window just in plain old stupidity. And that's how Trudeau managed to double the public debt twofold. And now I don't know if that's going to triple the debt. While we have soldiers on the street, we have people who can't eat at the moment. We have people who can't work caused by a situation like this. So now who's to blame? Because I don't know. So this is what I have to show you guys is the amount of insanity that's happening in the country. I know there are some people who had some comments here. I want to take a look at this. Yeah, so basically, oh, thanks for sharing this. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I spent roughly 5 hours to get this information because for those who are not aware of the situation, there were so many conflicted pieces of information with this going on. We have people saying that the website was taken down. We have some people stating that the website is about to crash. We got people saying that the website is failing. We got people saying that the government is hiding information. To me, it looks like the site is, and you're seeing pretty much in real time, and I got a pretty good, decent connection here. The site is so incredibly slow that people think that the site is basically gone, not working, or they're hiding something, although that would not surprise me. But yeah, so this is what I want to show you to you guys is the amount of money that's been wasted in at the federal government. I would like to see which each individual province and each individual city. I don't know if the provincial government have something like this. I know that in this case, we know the money that goes from the federal government to whatever land, like Ottawa, Gatineau. We see the list of cities, right? Like you see the list, right? So I'd be surprised of knowing how much money is going to each province and under which circumstances, right? The information that we have is somehow broken. I managed to download the last piece of information I can possibly get. When I downloaded the list yesterday, it was extremely painfully slow, and not to mention that it was extremely buggy. Um, so as we get the information, I'm gonna keep you guys updated. What I can tell you right now is that if you're going to talk with your MP, you can ask them, "Hey, what are you gonna do with this old waste of money? Are you going to continue to probably not to because we have to cut expenses like when you run into a financial situation in a very dire financial situation you want to recover, you have to cut costs, and this is not efficient at all. So let's see how it's going to happen in the next couple months with the situation in the United States. I know that it's popping everywhere on social media now, but I'm surprised that politicians are not talking about those things at all. And I would like to see some level of commitment from, especially the conservative government, was very discreet on that matter. Say we when I cut, they will say, okay, we have to money for dollar, dollar for dollar, money for dollar, and all that nonsense. They done that, and that's fine. But if you're keeping with the same level of expenses that they have right now, it's not gonna work. You have to cut the expenses like 90%, if at least. I talk with sometimes I watch what's happening in Argentina as well, to over there, and it's incredibly amazing what the guys are doing. They basically they're using two steps to get rid of the uh, weird expenses. So the first thing is saying what we're gonna do that can be supplemented by the private sector. And if can be done by the private sector, we cut it. The private sector will do it. The next round will be if that is something that can be done by the private sector and it has nothing to do with the government, cut it too. That's the second phase of cutting expenses. So right now, what I read is that Elon Musk with Dutch is using the same methodology and applying internet states. I sincerely hope that somebody at the next election or two, we're going to see a massive amount. I don't want to see a file name of 60 megs. I want to see 2 megs, 2 megabytes of one or zero, whatever. But I don't want to see huge amounts of data, like huge amounts of files in there. And you notice that all the files grew up in size like fivefold when Justin Trudeau got elected or selected. So that's another kind of worms, if you know what I mean. So this is what I have to show up, guys, and I know that I haven't been posted for a while, been busy with other things as well, and it was crazy these days. So So I was going to show you my point of view of this particular situation because I needed to act upon it, because there's a lot of misinformation and confusion around this particular subject. Also because from an IT perspective, sometimes people say, "Oh, the website got crashed and the government is hiding something," and that could be. But dealing with the technical aspect is one thing. Pushing data on a website and thinking that the site was taken down is another thing, right? So, thanks for having me today. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next week. I have some cool footage I will be shooting. That was fantastic, and we'll go from there. Bye for now.